Anurag Kashyap once said that sometimes he does some movies that do not have his whole heart, but he has to do them for the sake of doing. And I believe Zoya Akhtar had nothing else than this while thinking of presenting the ARCHIES in this caricaturist manner with hardly anything there to stick for 2.5 hours. Hello everyone. With the new Netflix film starring the star kids and some newcomers, The ARCHIES is out, and here is me telling my not so wholesome experience of the same. The story and the screenplay. When the movie started with the voiceover describing the premise and outcast, I somehow felt a little optimistic that I could get something out of this. Although this movie had nothing to get me excited from the trailer or the thought, still being a fanboy of Zoya Akhtar and her intriguing and masterclass storytelling, I badly wanted this to work well. And somehow I believed the screenplay will save it, no matter how loose the story or premise is. But, did it? Not really. The screenplay seems childish and immediately cuts a linear pace of storytelling, and all I wanted was when can it be a little engaging. Roughly, it is nothing but some 17-year-old teenagers having their funky life in a fictional town in India named Riverdale, where the Anglo-Indians lived. And they have a green park in the center of the town with which the people there are emotionally connected. And then comes a businessman who wants to build a town in the center of the town, the green park, where it is opposed by a lot. And then the chaos begins with the ARCHIES getting into the business to save the park. And that's it. This is the story what's there in the trailer, and that's the story in the whole movie. And the worst part is, while going on to the point, it takes almost an hour which holds nothing to hold the audience, and the poor screenplay and kiddish story makes the whole project blemished. The targeted audience and conviction. When the project was announced, all I wondered was who's the targeted audience of this project, and will India relate to this kind of story? Then came a voice from within, Zoya must have thought of that, so I don't really need to bother on this. But now I'm really thinking, who's the targeted audience here? The people who have been the fans of Archie's comic? And if yes, then they too would be having problems with the altered storyline and the inconvenience with the Indian adaptation with nothing Indianness there, except that the society is Anglo-Indian and some broken Hindi dialogues. And then comes the question about the conviction of how can a filmmaker like Zoya Akhtar helm such a project and it still feels half-baked to get entertained. It's quite underwhelming to see this being served with no proper conviction, and it didn't even stand out with the movie being a proper musical. The background music is sometimes soothing to have, but the music never connects or stays with you. And as the meme goes, here the 17-year-old Netflix kids can do literally everything except studying. Never mind. The good. Well, with this much of harsh criticism filled in the mind, it isn't easy to get the good points to share. But what truly makes you feel good is the marvelous cinematography. It truly takes you to that dreamy world where the fictional characters start feeling real and the camera depicts every necessity conditioning that could somehow save the movie. Apart from that, the presentation is also something to talk about, and the dialogues by Farhan Akhtar are strictly Gen Z to depict the characters. And that's the wrap to the video, guys. It may not be highly recommended from our side, but still, if you want to cherish some great aesthetics by Zoya Akhtar, you can try watching it, but only in your free time. Never had I imagined seeing something like this to a Zoya Akhtar directorial. Still, it is what it is. Hashtag smiling in pain. Do share your thoughts about the ARCHIES and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Fortnite Chronicles.